Hey everybody, my name is Bryce Young. I'm the president and founder of Warm Audio, and I'm very excited to talk to you today about our new product release, the WA-1B. The WA-1B is based on a classic Scandinavian compressor, and we've all heard this type of compression used on multiple hit records. I mean, I would say probably hundreds, if not thousands. And what I love about it is it's not just confined to a particular genre. I think it's become well known in the R&B and rap genres, but I've seen it used on country records, rock records, really anything that needs effortless, smooth, beautiful tube optical compression. This type of compressor is a winner. The WA-1B is really special because we're bringing a classic circuit built with really good components, Lundahl transformers, tongue saw and electroharmonics tubes. It runs on 270 volts of raw power. I mean, this is a beast of a compressor, and we're bringing it at such a low price point. Optical compressors are really fascinating. They have this really forgiving, fluid sound that makes the performer feel like they're not even being compressed, and they're just very natural sounding. The 2A style has a bit more color and tone, and I love that on certain things. But there's times where you want optical compression to be very transparent. So it gives you that fluid sound that you want, but you also want it to not impart much character. And that's how I feel the WA-1B performs. One reason why people like optical compressors is because they are fairly simple to use. Many don't even have attack and release controls on them. What is great about the WA-1B is you put it in fixed mode, there's no attack and release adjustment you have to make, and it just compresses naturally, very smooth on really any source. You just dial in how much compression to use, and it's just very easy. But a benefit also to the WA-1B is you can flip it out of fixed mode to manual mode, and then you can dial in the attack and release times that you want if you are trying to get more precise. So here at Warm Audio, we're very into the components in our circuits. You can replicate a circuit and use generic components that don't sound very good, and you're not really giving the user the proper experience. With the WA-1B, like any other product, we wanted to make sure to use the best of the best. And so the signal transformers are a big one. A lot of people don't know this, but the audio signal is actually passing through the transformer. When people think of transformers, they often think of like power transformers that are powering the product. But no, there are signal transformers where the audio is actually going through a magnet, like a big chunk of steel. And if that is not built correctly, you're not going to get the right tone. It's hypercritical. In the WA-1B, we're using Lundahl Sweden transformers. Very fitting, being a Scandinavian compressor, that we picked a Scandinavian company to supply the transformers. We have had countless requests to build this style of compressor, and I thought about it for many years. Should we do it? Can we get it right? Can we nail it? Will the price be affordable? Because that's what we do. We don't want to just build something that's very expensive. Anybody can do that. And the components are a big part of getting the sound correct. I mentioned the Lundahl Sweden transformers, big deal. That butters everything up, sounds really good. But the optical components that are controlling the compression have to be sourced and dialed in right. It runs on 270 volts of raw power, just like the original. It's hand wired. It uses through-hole components. If you look at the circuit pictures on our website, which we put them there for a reason, we're very proud of what's inside of this product, you can see that we did not hold back one bit to nail the sonic signature of this product. All right, so I want to take a minute and talk about the controls on the front panel of the WA-1B. I know that some of you are familiar with this style of compressor. For those of you who are not, let's get to it. So way over here on the left, you've got the on bypass switch. When it's flipped up in on, you are activating the compressor, and the audio signal coming in will hit the side chain. When it's off, it bypasses the compressor, but believe it or not, it bypasses the entire circuit. So it literally sends the signal in and right back out, known as a hard bypass. And that's good to know, as a lot of compressors don't do a hard bypass. They still run the audio through the circuitry. So then we've got the gain knob, and the gain controls the amount of audio signal after it is compressed. So if you turn the threshold up, which we'll get to here in a second, you're compressing a lot, and then you need the output to be louder, you're going to turn up the gain. Next one is the ratio. If you don't understand compression ratios, read up about it. It's super powerful to learn how they work. But basically, the higher this is, the more it will compress after that audio hits that threshold. Now we've got the threshold knob. Turn this up. It's going to increase compression or lower the threshold. Now the meter switch. The meter switch is controlling what the meter shows. So on input, you will be seeing the amount of signal coming into the compressor. On compression, you will be seeing how much compression is occurring. And on output, the level of audio leaving the compressor. Now, let's go down here to the attack knob. This is your attack time. So if you want a faster attack time, then you would turn it to fast, slower attack time. So this is how quickly the compression engages once the audio signal hits the threshold. And then you've got the same thing for release here. You got a fast and slow release. So this switch here is pretty unique. You don't see it on a lot of compressors. And what it's doing is it's letting you pick between a fixed attack and release time or a manual time. And so in fixed mode, it's going to default to 1 millisecond attack and a 50 millisecond release, which is pretty fast. In manual mode then, using the attack and release knobs, you can then adjust the attack and release times. Fixed manual is kind of unique. I haven't seen that before either, and what that does is it takes the fast attack and release of the fixed mode and sums that in with the manual mode. And so oftentimes it gives you kind of a happy medium between the two. I personally love this product in fixed mode because it just does a great job on most sources, and I don't even have to mess with the attack and release. Over here, we've got external sidechain options. So normally you'd leave this in the off position, but if you did want to send an external sidechain into the back of the unit, there are 2 different jacks on the back, 1 and 2 for the 1 and 2 selections here. And then lastly, this is something that we added because tube circuitry can drift over time. And this allows you to zero out your meter. I know a lot of people can't stand it when their meter is sitting, let's say, right there all the time. And on a lot of products, you'd have to pull it out of the rack, take the lid off, turn a calibration screw inside. Well, we've got that dialed in right here. We've got the power LED to let you know it's on, and then the power switch. So let's now show you the back side of the unit. All right, so on the back side of the unit, just a couple things. You got your AC inlet here. The fuse actually is right in this little compartment here, so if you ever blow a fuse, which should be pretty rare, you can access it easily. Now, we will have these products set to the proper voltage for your country. So you've got 115 or 230 volt. You shouldn't have to ever touch this red switch, and definitely don't touch it if it's set to the proper switch. But most European countries are at 230 volts or 240. Here in the US, we're 115, so make sure that that's set correctly. Here are those side chain inputs that I mentioned that you can select between on the front side. And you can learn more about how an external side chain works in our manual, also on our website. Then you've got your inputs and your outputs, pretty straightforward. Now the TRS connectors that you're seeing next to the XLR connectors are hardwired to each other, so you use one or the other. You don't want to use both typically at the same time. And don't be confused, these are XLR. It does not mean it's mic level. So you need to be sending a line level signal into this product. You cannot connect a mic directly to it. Thanks for taking a moment to learn about the WA-1B with me today. It's been a pleasure to fill you in on its features, its build quality. I am very excited about it and can't wait to hear what you think. If you have any more questions about it, you can learn more at warmaudio.com or your local retailer. Most of our pro audio retailers already have these in stock around the world, and we'd be thrilled to talk to you about it. Thank you.